All right, bowl season is here. Moving on to Christmas Eve, the annual Hawaii Bowl. On Christmas Eve, we got Middle Tennessee State taking on San Diego State. Seeing the Aztecs as a 6.5 point favorite in this spot, down a little bit from 7. Not too much of a line move there. Total has stayed pretty steady around 48.5, 49. That's where I locked it in. I'm on the under 49 as an official 1 unit play in this matchup. San Diego State is a quintessential under team through and through. They run at the 6th slowest pace in college football, rank outside the top 100 in yards per play. And one kind of hidden thing that I think a lot of people don't look at in football is red zone scoring percentage. This Aztecs offense, that 32 red zone series this year, which is a very low number to begin with. So they're not getting in the red zone a lot. And then when they do, just 12 touchdowns in 32 chances. I mean, that is terrible. It's one of the lowest percentages in the country. And not being able to finish drives is a pretty good way to keep a game under a pretty reasonable total. So there's a lot not to like about San Diego State's offense. Jalen Mayden, their quarterback, he actually has shown some flashes this year. He's had some really good games. I mean, I think 8.9 yards per attempt is very encouraging for Brady Hoke and for the future of this offense. But with that said, this is clearly a run-first team that runs a lot of clock, plays very conservative, not an explosive offense. As far as this MTSU defense, they do a pretty good job against the run. Playing in the Conference USA, they have faced some pretty explosive backs. San Diego State doesn't really have that element. They're really just kind of an in between the tackle, ground and pound kind of offense, not really an explosive offense whatsoever. So I think Middle Tennessee State won't have much issue stopping the run here. And I think they actually have a slight advantage in the trenches in this matchup. When Hoke does elect to pass, I think Middle Tennessee State can get some pressure on Mayden. So with all that said, with how much I just talked down on San Diego State, love that defense, specifically the front seven. Very good at getting after the quarterback, and then very good against the run as well. This Middle Tennessee State offense is not good. We all saw them, put up however much they put up against Miami and absolutely blow the Hurricanes out. That was a one-game anomaly. This is a team themselves that's right around 100th in yards per play this year. Their quarterback, Chase Cunningham, not a bad player, but he doesn't create those explosive plays the way you need to be able to beat this San Diego State defense. 7 yards per attempt this year. San Diego State should be able to get quite a bit of pressure on him. I think they're a lot more physical along their D line, and do think Middle Tennessee State could be pretty outmatched along their O line. Once again, and I've said this a lot today throughout some of these early bowl game videos, probably a reason why these teams are playing before Christmas. I mean, Middle Tennessee State just does not create explosive plays on the ground. If that's an issue, you're going up against a really physical run defense like San Diego State, as we've known them to be for years now. I'm just not going to be able to trust you. I know Middle Tennessee State runs at a pretty fast pace. That's the way Rick Stockstill just goes about things. Pace matters when you're playing a total. I'm not trying to say it doesn't. Where I worry about pace is when you have that combination of explosivity and pace, like the Tennessees of the world and the Washingtons of the world. When you're well below average and you run fast, means you'll get more chances. Doesn't really mean that you're going to capitalize on them. Quite frankly, I see this more as a 24-20, 27-17 kind of game. I definitely don't see San Diego State getting past 27, but I think there's a pretty good chance that MTSU gets held at or under 20 in this game. So I think the under is the best way to play this game. As far as a side, if I had to play it, we have seen some line move towards Middle Tennessee State. I don't hate that. I'm going to emphasize once again, San Diego State is historically bad at finishing drives in the red zone. So that makes them pretty hard to trust in the spot. I'm not going to worry about the side. My official 1 unit play on this game, and the only play I have before Christmas is on the under 48.5 here on Christmas Eve. We're 2-1 in bowl season to start out. Let's make it 3-1, and then we'll really hit the ground running after Christmas.